We have, we have representatives scheduled to provide program overviews for our voluntary benefit offerings. If you have any questions, please use the raise your hand emoji at the bottom of the screen. And after each presenter is done with their presentation, we can, if we have time, we can answer employee questions. I also have a little bit of time scheduled at the back end of the scheduled presentations to answer any questions that I can offer answers for. With that being said, Michelle Kramer, our wellness coordinator for West Suburban Health Group, is having some technical difficulties. So we will have Tatiana give a brief overview of the West Suburban Health Group wellness program that is offered. So take it away, Tatiana.
Hi, thanks for having me. Since we are part of the West Suburban Health Group, which is a conglomerate of several communities that buy into health insurance altogether, one of the benefits of the program is their offering of a wellness program along with a wellness coordinator who's Michelle Kramer. She's unable to join us, but I just wanted to show you where on the website of the West Suburban Health Group you can find the resources that are related to wellness. And I just wanted to remind everyone, Michelle, on a monthly basis, emails us awareness flyers that are related to health topics. They sometimes talk about dieting, exercise, stress, heart health, diabetes, just some of the more pressing themes that are related to health. When she sends that information over to us, we turn it around and distribute it to everyone, along with any resources or webinars. There's one going on right now that is about your plate, the balancing the different food groups on your plate that is going on. And just any information that we get with her, we share with the staff. So always be sure to check those. There's some good tips in there, and some other information about where to find more information for any particular topic you might be interested in. So I'm just going to share my screen. Just want to, again, for those of you who are not familiar, this is the West Suburban Health Group website, along with some information about the actual West Suburban Health Group. And just, if anyone is interested in reading the meetings or for the board of directors, how we arrive at the rates and all of the fun stuff that has to do with health insurance, you can go in here and find more information. And then we are here on the wellness page, and you can find, again, more information about the program, about some of the services they offer. Wellness awareness is something that Michelle maintains directly. There's some information about here and some of the previous flyers. Like I said, so far this year, the last one was in April. That has to do with stress management awareness. So if by chance you miss our email or you don't find them in your Outlook, you can come in here and browse to them and see if there's something that will be of interest to you. This is a service that is extended to all employees covered under any of our health insurance plans. But, as an added bonus, we share the information with everyone regardless. Is there any questions about this?
As I said, if you have any questions, please use the raise your hand emoji, and we will promote you as a panelist, and you'll have the ability to ask your question. I don't see any popping in.
But if anything, if anybody thinks of anything, you know where to find us.
All righty. We are running a little bit early. We do have our second presenter from Pinnacle Care in the audience. I will promote her and see if she's able to join us a couple minutes early.
Hey, I did
Hi,
it.
Katie. How are you?
How are you guys?
Good.
I was worried. I've got to just tell everyone I've got someone here doing some work in my house. I'm like, I don't know if they can hear me, so stop drilling.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
Katie is here to talk a little bit about our new, it's a new program for the West Suburban Health Group and for Needham. It's more of a concierge white glove type of service and it's from Pinnacle Care. So thank you, Katie.
Wait, Justine, before we get started, there's someone in the audience with a question.
Oh, hold on one second.
Sorry, Katie, just 1
Oh,
second.
no, you're fine.
I'm promoting Sally. Hi, Sally, how are you?
She's
If
on
you
mute.
can unmute, oh, there we go.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I was a panelist.
Yep.
Do you have a question or you're just waiting to present?
No, just waiting.
Okay,
Thank you.
right. Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I
Mhm.
think, give this a go.
You should be
Um,
able to.
No, I think I'm good. I can see it. I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right set. And I'm gonna do, give me that 1 second. Okay, oh, hold on, sorry. I did it, it's just, okay, sharing screen. Yeah. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me bring up my one with notes, not that one. I don't want you to see. You know when you lose your mouse? All right, all right. Sorry, no, I went away. I know. Give me one more second. I'm so sorry. Sorry, everybody. It's like I want to share, but it brings my whole screen up. So that's what's throwing me off. So give me one more second here. That one. That's just showing you Zoom. That's not what you want to see. So sorry, everybody. All right, I'm going to do it a different way. Give me just one more second.
Sure.
I'm just trying to make it so you can't see my notes, but if I do it, you know, it's just, let's do that. Talk about technical difficulties. Okay. It's over here. And I know you can see it. I just, because you can see my notes and I don't want you to see that. That's what I'm,
If you,
should hit a slideshow.
yep, slideshow and then present from the beginning.
yeah. Okay, and I'm already sharing, right? So, but you're still seeing the wrong one, right?
But if you hit show taskbar, it should change the
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's what I'm up to. I'm sorry, everybody. No.
No, it's okay. We were a couple minutes early anyways, so.
All right, so we're gonna do that.
There you are.
I did it. Okay. With that being said, hi. Again, my name is Katie Robershad, and I'm here to talk about Pinnacle Care, which, as she mentioned, is a new service for you folks this year. It's basically a health advisory support benefit. Some of you may have heard of us, some of you have not. I'm hoping some of you have maybe used our services or at least looked into it. But again, my goal today is to focus on providing you an in-depth understanding of those services so that you can feel confident in when to call us, when to use us, all of that stuff. In this presentation, I'm going to explain what we do, when you can and should use Pinnacle Care, and again, most importantly, how to get a hold of us. So just to get started, Pinnacle Care covers you and your dependents who are covered under a medical plan. So it's at, which is great. So as long as you're enrolled in the plan, you absolutely have access to this service. And at our core, we are a resource that's going to assist you if you have health-related concerns or if you're facing a health challenge. Again, we all know how difficult it is to navigate your healthcare. So Pinnacle Care is a vital tool if you or your loved ones needs to find a doctor, needs to understand treatment options, or if you need help with scheduling an appointment quickly and easily. Again, this is at no cost to you, and it's completely confidential. So as soon as you pick up the phone and reach out to us, our clinical team can help you start navigating your care. A question we often get asked, and what I really want to get the point across today, is when to contact us. There are several reasons. I typically say if you pick up your medical card and you're making, to schedule appointments or find a doctor, call us as well, because that's all the things that we can help you with. One reason to call us is a new diagnosis. So really, that's a great trigger. You might need help finding the best doctor in your network and your area. That's one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on. That so if you need to find a new doctor, you call us. We're going to find someone that's in your network that's taking new patients. We'll schedule those appointments if you want us to. And this is for really any condition. It doesn't matter if it's really severe or just, really anything. So if you can call us for, cancer, musculoskeletal concerns, so your bones, digestive, abnormal test results, really anything that you need some medical health guidance on, call us and we will be able to help you out. Another reason to call us is if you want or need a second opinion. That's kind of what sets us apart from other groups that do this. We can coordinate either an in-house second opinion. So one of our doctors will look at all your medical records and kind of give you an opinion, or we'll help you find either a remote second opinion or a local second opinion to get you, so we can try to make sure they're getting the best care. If you're faced with changes in your treatment plan, so a lot of times you'll have something going on, like you have had knee pain for a really long time and the doctor recommends something different, call us. We can take a look at the records, see if, our experts agree with that, or help you, again, find specialists if that's what you're looking for. If you're recommended for surgery or a major procedure, that's another great time to call us, because we can help you confirm that that's the best option and maybe see if there's anything else that might be available. And again, what most people don't think about, because I think people think about us as being more like a critical care situation. If you are just looking for a primary care doctor, that's a great reason to call us as well. I tell this story all the time. So if you've been on meetings with me before, you've heard the story. But when I moved back to Maine, I needed to find a new doctor, and I found her based on the fact that her last name was the same as my third grade teacher, who I really liked. It's not the greatest reason to pick a doctor, but having Pinnacle Care help me out would have been a lot better off. So just give us a call. And again, just to kind of reiterate some of the things we do, we can provide those expert medical opinions. We can research your diagnosis and your treatment options, customize reports, identifying the top local, regional, or national specialists to fit your needs. We can facilitate those appointments, collecting, organizing, and forwarding your key medical records. We can offer virtual consultations if need be. And I just like to point out this behavioral health piece, because that's new. We've added it not as a service, but just as something I want to point out, because what we're finding in the last couple of years, behavioral health and finding behavioral health specialists who are in network and are in your area and taking new patients are harder and harder to come by. So let us help you out finding out if that's something that you're looking for help with. So just know that we can do that as well. And again, so what happens when you call us? You contact us. Our intake specialist will consult with you, review your medical conditions, and then you'll get your own dedicated care advisor. And that care advisor stays with you for the duration of your journey with us. And also, if for some reason, say 6 months later, you need to call us back for something else, we will do everything in our power to make sure that you get back to that same care advisor. The last thing we want you to have to do is reiterate your medical concerns again and again. So after you speak with our health advisor, we do the data collection. Again, we collect all that necessary, the authorizations and the approval forms to obtain those records. And then once that medical information is received, our medical director and our advisory teams will review your records, will assess your case, and determine what specialists best fit your needs. You're guided every step of the way to determine if we need to facilitate an appointment, set up virtual consultations. We create physician referral reports, which gives you all this data about the doctors we're referring you to, so you can really make an informed decision on who you're seeing and kind of what's going on with your treatment. So that's where there. And then our dedicated advisor will then review those reports with you and guide you in all the appropriate actions and options. So we're really working with you just we want to make sure you're getting the best care available, that then that you kind of understand your treatment too and what's going on in your condition, because that's half of it is understanding what's going on with you and how you can best get better. And then after your appointment, we'll follow up with you immediately after to make sure you got everything that you need and to identify if anything further is needed, any other steps need to be taken. And I do want to mention too that your services also include what's called bill resolve. And that's an added benefit that your employer has elected. And essentially what it is exactly what this slide is showing you, which is if you have claims or healthcare bills that are over $800, you can call us and we can work with you on billing, claim advocacy. We can kind of try to figure out what's going on, see if we can help you. We can work on negotiations, so we can help with all of that information as well. So if you have questions about that, or you're not sure if we can or how we can help, call us about that as well, and we can certainly help out. So this is our contact information, our phone number, email address, sorry, not email, website address, and that should be available from your HR team as well. And the only other piece that I want to mention today is, just to confuse you a little bit, is that starting this summer, we're actually changing our branding and our name to Health Navigator, powered by Pinnacle Care. All that's really changing is it's going to be yellow and the name is a little bit changed, but it'll be the same services, same benefits, everything else is the same. It's just to let you know that we'll provide more information about that when it happens. You'll get some marketing pieces about the name change and any changes in contact information. So that is what I have. Are there questions or concerns or anything?
So I just have a quick question. One of our new plans is the Blue Cross Blue Shield Select Network. Would Pinnacle, we learned through the last healthcare presentation that some certain hospitals in the New England area will not be covered. Is that something that Pinnacle will help us determine? Whether our insurance will cover certain hospitals or providers?
Well, we don't really determine that as like a blanket thing, but if somebody's calling us and they are covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield, when we're looking for doctors, we'll make sure that they're in that network, that they're in the right network when we're recommending. We typically do not recommend that a member go to a facility or doctor that's not covered under the medical plan. So we will determine that before we make those referrals.
Gotcha.
Does that help, Tatiana?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Sure.
Just wanted to make sure, because you were talking about like identifying like the right providers and all of that stuff.
Right. So one of the things that we have is we have a copy of your benefit book. So we know who all your vendors are. And if somebody, for those of you listening, if you call us and we're not the right person and you really need to get hold of Blue Cross Blue Shield or one of your other vendors, we will warm transfer you to that person. We have their contact information, we have their phone number. So we will make sure we get you where you need to go. The last thing what's going to happen if you call us is that's not us and hang up. We're going to find out where you need to be and who's going to be best to answer your questions. And we'll get you to those people for sure. So yeah, we're here to help with anything we can. And if you're not sure, just call us, because that's part of it too. Like, we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. We did have
and I'm going to hop off, Justine, if that's okay.
We do have another
we have a question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on just one moment. I'm just going to promote Kimberly. She should be popping in. Hi, Kim. If you unmute, you can ask your question.
Yep, I just had to wait for the screen to come back on. Sorry.
No.
It pauses for a second when it changes you to a panelist, so I had to wait.
Yeah,
For it to come back
I
up
did the
again.
same thing. I was like, wait, it's spinning. What's happening?
So really quick and super simple. Is this something automatically that you have no matter what if you sign when you have insurance, or do you have to sign up separately for it?
No, as long as you are enrolled in the medical plan, you are covered. Your employer provides us a listing of everybody that's in the medical plan. And so when you call, we'll just confirm that and on the file, and that's all you need. So nothing you have to sign up for. It's a great benefit that your employer is providing.
Yes, thank you, Needham.
So please take advantage of it.
Well, I'm thinking of it for my daughter, who doesn't necessarily live with me at the moment, so she's like off at college or whatever. So what if she would use it, what types of things would she have to have prepared and ready to when they make the phone call?
again, as long as she's covered on your plan, we just need your name and that's it. She'll call and say, my mom is covered. We'll look up your name, Kim, and that's all she needs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank
So,
you.
Of course.
I did have two quick questions.
Sure.
The first is with helping find appointments for covered employees. So I've been seeing a lot lately, if you call and make an appointment, your provider is taking patients, but there's a 6-month waiting list. Would Pinnacle Care help with the waiting list part of the getting the appointment?
Yeah, we can. I mean, because we have a lot of relationships with doctors' offices, so sometimes we can kind of circumvent a little bit and get them in. But certainly we can, especially if it's something emergent. What we don't want to do is, like, we've had calls about this before. If somebody's, and I hate to put anything bad in the universe, but if somebody's already in the hospital, that's, even if it's an emergency thing, that's probably not when we're going to help out. It's because they're already there and they're getting the treatment and whatever. But yeah, if they are looking to make an appointment and need help making that appointment, or just want us to make the appointment for them, they can call us and we can certainly try to help them get them in a little bit sooner, because yeah, that is part of the difficulty, right? Is finding a doctor that can see you in less than. I broke my toe in February and they were like, can you come in April? I'm like, no, I broke my toe.
We'll be healed by then.
I'd like to come in before then, please. So that's what I did. Anyway, so yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you. And then my second question, my final question, with the bill negotiation, say I receive a bill and it's $1,200. Do I pay that bill and then go through getting it
either way
negotiated after the fact, or is it something that,
if you're running into it and it's become like, if you don't pay it, they're gonna, come take you home, pay it. But but if you've already paid it, you can still call us and we can try to negotiate it. We just had somebody do that recently where they had already paid their bill and asked us to negotiate and look into it. So they sent us the bills and we kind of did that work for them behind the scenes and got some. So yeah, absolutely.
great.
And I forget, because that's also a great service to have too, because it's just nice to have somebody else do that for you, do the negotiating and writing. So
that's great. Yeah. I definitely see that portion of the benefit being very popular.
Yeah.
For our employees. So
yeah, absolutely. And Justine, I can send you some flyers about that specifically if you want to have that for just to have it on hand and stuff. So
that would be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to present to our employees.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, and I'm going to hop off because
Sure.
So thanks so much. Great. If any more questions come up, just send me an email and I'll be happy.
Will do. Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, up next we have Sally Boston from Benefit Strategies to present about our flexible spending account benefit. Sally, I believe you're already a panelist, so.
Let's see if I can share my screen.
There we go.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I apologize for jumping in before. I was just unsure of everything. So, okay, well, thanks for allowing me to present the information about your flexible spending accounts through Voya. I do appreciate it. And we have a lot of information to review through this, and I'll be going through these slides quickly. So please save any questions to the end, or you can raise your hand and ask questions of the team, Tatiana or Justine. And you can also call our customer service team, whose information will be provided at the end of this presentation. So there are two types of flexible spending accounts, FSAs, that are available to participate in. One is the healthcare FSA, and that allows you to set aside money on a pre-tax basis to pay for any out-of-pocket medical, dental, vision, and hearing expenses for you and your family members. And the other FSA is a dependent care FSA, which is designed to help you pay for dependent care expenses. And so you can enroll in the healthcare FSA even if you aren't covered under your employer's medical care plan. However, if you or your spouse are enrolled in an HSA plan, which is a health savings account, and it's associated with a high deductible health plan, the federal regulations don't allow you to also enroll in the healthcare FSA. So please check with your spouse to discuss which plan works best for you. So the great thing about participating in an FSA is that you don't pay federal or FICA taxes or state taxes in most states on monies you place in an FSA. And the healthcare FSA is front-loaded on day one of your plan year. So you have access to your entire election amount at the beginning of the plan year. And your plan year begins on July 1st. And because these are federally regulated accounts, there are certain rules that do apply. And one, you have to re-enroll in the FSA during the open enrollment period. It doesn't just roll over. If you want to participate, you have to re-enroll every year. And you can't update your elections unless you experience a qualifying event, such as a family status change, which is like marriage, divorce, birth, or death of a family member. And the third is any funds remaining in an FSA after the runout period are forfeited. So you have to be careful when determining how much to place in your FSA account. And again, if you or your spouse are enrolled in an HSA, that's health savings account, you can't also have a healthcare FSA. And the final one is the IRS requires documentation on every expense you fund through your FSA to make certain that it's a qualifying FSA expense. Now, what's eligible under your healthcare FSA, it's expenses that you and your legally married spouse, not domestic partners, and your dependents up to age 26 can use you can use those healthcare FSA funds to pay for a variety of medical, dental, vision, or hearing expenses that aren't paid for by your insurance carrier. And these include deductibles, co-pays, prescription drug expenses, those co-pays on there, eye exams and glasses, and dental expenses, such as orthodontia expenses, which can be somewhat a higher cost. And some over-the-counter supplies and medicines are also able to be paid for by your FSA dollars. Now, remember, some products and services may require additional documentation to assure that they're considered FSA eligible. And please contact our customer service team, or you can view IRS publication 502, which is found on irs.gov. You can get more information about what's considered a covered expense for FSA purposes. And there are several ways to receive reimbursements for your eligible FSA expenses. And you can choose to have your reimbursements made by check or direct deposit when you sign up on the online app, website. You can submit a reimbursement online at benstrat.com or benstrat.navigatorssuite.com. Or an even quicker and easier way to do this is on the Voya mobile app. You can also use a paper claim form, which is available online at voya.benstrat.com. And remember that any services will require documentation that your claim is FSA eligible, that it's an FSA eligible expense. So you may be asked to submit receipts to verify that eligibility. And to substantiate a claim, documentation is required when submitting a claim for reimbursement. And it has to contain these four different items: the name of the provider, whether it's a doctor or a merchant, a description of the service or products that you're getting, the out-of-pocket costs of the product or services, whatever you've paid for out of your own pocket that insurance hasn't paid for, and the date of the service or the purchase. That's it. Then you can send all that documentation in with your claim. Now, the healthcare FSA works this way. You determine how much you believe you and your family will incur for any out-of-pocket medical, dental, vision, and hearing expenses for the year. The maximum you can contribute to your healthcare FSA is $3,050. And the minimum to participate in the healthcare FSA is $50. Now, your employer divides this amount by the number of pay periods in the year. So no taxes are taken out of that money, and the monies are placed in your FSA account. And remember, this is the great part about your FSA, your healthcare FSA. That full election amount is available on the first day of the plan year, which is July 1st. Now, a great feature, and this is a wonderful feature that your employer's elected, it's providing under your healthcare FSA is the rollover option. And this means if you haven't spent your entire election amount by the end of the plan year, which is for this plan year will be June 30th, 2024, you can have up to $610 of the remaining money in your account rolled over to the next year. And this will happen automatically when you enroll for the 2024 FSA. Remember, I said that you have to re-enroll each year. So you would have to re-enroll in an FSA, the healthcare FSA, for this rollover to be placed in your new account. And to submit claims, you have 90 days after your plan year ends, which is June 30th, to submit the claims. Now, the dependent care FSAs work similarly to the healthcare FSAs, with one major exception. Funds aren't automatically available on the first day of the plan year. They build up as money is deposited into your account throughout the year. Now, you can deposit up to $5,000 as a family into a dependent care account. So if you and your spouse are both contributing to a dependent care FSA, the maximum for both of you is $5,000. It's not for each of you. So it's only a maximum of $5,000. And again, there's a $50 minimum to participate in the dependent care FSA. And remember that this money is taken out of your paycheck on that tax-free basis. So expenses eligible for reimbursement under that dependent care FSA are for items like babysitters, nannies, before or after school programs, summer camps, in preschool. And these expenses must be used for children under the age of 13 or older if diagnosed with a disability or special need. So please be careful if you do have a child turning 13 during your plan year, that once that child hits 13, you can no longer submit expenses for those dependent care. And again, dependent care reimbursements are handled similarly to the healthcare reimbursements. You can do it online, by mobile app, or by paper. And you have to submit the documentation that specifies the dates of service, the provider information, and the type of service provided. And remember that some items such as tutoring and dance lessons aren't considered eligible expenses. Now, a great feature provided by your employer is that your dependent care FSA has a grace period option, which allows you to have another 2.5 months to incur dependent care claims at the end of your plan year, which runs from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. That means you can incur dependent care expenses through September 15th, 2024, and claim them under this plan year, this 2023-24 plan year. Claims for this time period must be submitted though by September 30th, 2024. And again, any monies in your FSA plan after that date will be forfeited. Now, once you enroll in one or both of the FSAs, you'll be sent a debit card to be used for paying for eligible expenses at the point of sale. If you need additional cards, you can contact our customer service team. If you enroll for both the healthcare and dependent care FSA funds for both accounts will be available on the one card. However, this is a smart card and you can't use the healthcare funds, any amount you have under the healthcare FSA for dependent care expenses and vice versa. So it will know whenever you do submit a claim, it will know which fund to apply the expense to. And it's very important to keep detailed receipts when using your debit card in the event of an audit. So we do have an online consumer portal. You have the ability to track your account online at benstrat.com or benstrat.navigatorsuite.com. And this is a secure account. It's not accessible by your employer. And you can track the status of claims, view messages, review your balance, and any other administrative functions on your account. But the favorite service seems to be the ability to manage your FSAs through the mobile app. You can do everything you can, most everything you can on the online account, like view your balances, track the status of the claims, and you can easily file a claim by completing the basic information, and you just have to snap a picture of the receipt with all that pertinent information. It's very easy to do. And as I said before, we do have a customer service team. There was a lot of information in this presentation, but if you do have additional questions, please contact our customer service team at the 800 number, which is now 833. And you can also email us at hasinfo@voya.com. And you can visit our consumer portal at the website above, benstrat.navigatorsuite.com. Now, I can take any questions you have right now, and I do appreciate your time and attention to this presentation.
Thank
Are there
you
any
very much,
questions?
Sally. Do we have any questions for Sally about FSA? I don't see any hands popping up, so just give everyone another second. I don't see any questions at this time. If there are any questions regarding FSA, feel free to send them my way and I can send them off to the appropriate person at Benefit Strategies, or I can try to answer that question myself. Well, thank you so much, Sally, for your time today.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Up next, we have Christina Menard from Voya to talk about deferred compensation. Don't see her in the attendee list. I'm just going to give her a couple of moments. We're about a minute early, so.
I see her now, Justine.
Oh, perfect. Let me just promote her to panelist. not working for me. Hold on just one more moment. Do you mind trying, Tatiana? For some reason, I keep trying to promote her and nothing's happening. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, everybody. We seem to be having a lot of technical difficulties today. Hi, Christina, can you hear me?
Hi. How are you guys?
Good, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Good. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I think it's me. I apologize.
No, it seems to be a theme today. We're all having some issues with the technology today. But thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us and go over the deferred compensation plans that you offer for the town.
Yes, thank you. I do have a PowerPoint, so I
Sure.
believe I was added as a panelist, so I thought I would share my screen if that's okay.
Perfect, that's amazing.
All right, awesome. So let's see. I feel it's like 2020 all over again. I forgot how to do this. Jeez. All right. So share screen. All right. Sorry about this. We got a new system
No
and
worries.
it's been a little frustrating for all of us. There it is. Do you see the PowerPoint?
I do.
All right, terrific. Thank you, guys. All right, so here we go. So thank you for having me on. My name is Christina Menard and I'm with Voya Financial. And Voya is one of the 457 vendors that is offered at the town of Needham. And I thought today I would review what a 457 plan is, quickly what the advantages of investing or participating in the 457 plan are, and then kind of lastly, how do you get a hold of myself or my colleague Brett Argel to work with us so we can help you get on the path to saving for retirement. The way that I would describe the 457 plan is that it is a supplement to your pension that you participate in. And the pension is what you and the town are contributing to, and you don't really have an option as to whether or not you participate in that. And the 457 plan is a voluntary benefit. So you get to choose the dollar amount that you want to participate in on a weekly basis. And the reason why I think that the 457 plan is a great benefit is that number one, it comes right out of your paycheck. You don't have to think about it. It's setting aside money for retirement. And it helps to, I tell folks to just kind of, your pension generally will cover only a certain percent of your retirement because you're not going to receive 100% of your paycheck at retirement. And that is where the 457 helps to make that up. So when we are planning for retirement, a lot of us will look to be retiring. I mean, I know sometimes there's some days I have a goal of retiring in my 50s. But more for most of us, the reality is around, kind of in that 62 to 70 range is when folks tend to retire. And then we're living longer. So there's planning that needs to be done with how are you going to live on the money that you're receiving in your pension, over 10, 20, sometimes even 30 years. So that's just something that we will help you to plan for. And as I mentioned, the pension plan that you receive might not cover, all of your expenses. I have a great tool that actually feeds in your current pension system, and we can see if there is a gap that you might have based on what your salary is, what your expected pension is, and if there is a shortage. The tool will then actually help us to drill down on how much should you be saving per paycheck in order to close that gap. There are two ways that you can put money into the 457 plan. Firstly, you can put money in on a pre-tax basis, or you can put it in on an after-tax basis, and that is called a Roth. So the benefits of the pre-tax basis is that you would be reducing your taxable income in the year that you're putting it in. So I'm going to use some round numbers because I'm not a math major. So if you make $50,000 a year and you put $1,000 into the 457 plan on a pre-tax basis, your earned income for the year would be $49,000. And then when you go to take that money out, if you utilize the pre-tax plan, the money is all taxable in the year that you then take it out. So for some folks, getting the tax deduction in the years that they're working are a benefit. You might be in a higher salary. You might be in a position where you really want to save, for example, $1,000 a year, but you can't really afford to save $1,000 a year. So if you're doing it on a pre-tax basis by saving $1,000 in a year, it probably only feels like about $780 out of your whole take-home income. Versus when you're saving via the Roth, which is after tax, that means that the money that's going in is done on an after-tax basis. So if we use the same example of a salary of $50,000 a year, and you put in $1,000, at the end of the year, your reported income would be $50,000 to the IRS. But the huge benefit for the Roth is that your earnings will then grow on a tax-free basis. And as long as it's in the plan for at least 5 years. And then when you go to take your money out, you won't have taxes on those earnings, which is a huge benefit. So especially for folks that may have 10, 15, 20 years where they have time where they're saving in a retirement plan, to have those earnings that are going to be tax-free is a good benefit. For 2023, the contribution limits in a 457 plan have increased. So it is $22,500. But there's more. You can put an additional $7,500 if you're over the age of 50. And then another benefit with respect to 457 deferred comp plans with municipalities or state plans, which we call them governmental 457 plans, are that you can contribute under a special catch-up rule up to $45,000, which would be twice the annual contribution limit. And you can do this within 3 years prior to retirement. So you might say, who are those crazy people who can do that? One of the benefits would be the town does allow you to put in your unused sick and vacation pay. So some folks that I work with will decide, and before they retire, that they were going to put that pay that they were going to receive into the deferred compensation plan in order to not take that as compensation and be taxed on it in the year that they retire. So that's one other benefit of the plan. So if you leave the town of Needham, because one day we're not going to work in our jobs, at least that's the goal. So if you leave, you have options. You are able to leave your account where it is within the 457 plan. You have the option to do a rollover to an IRA or an individual retirement account. You could also roll the account to a new employer's plan. So if you go to work for a neighboring town, to Wellesley, for example, next door, you could roll to their 457 plan. The other option that you have is that if you retire from the town, so let's say you separate service and you start taking your pension, you can start taking distributions on your town of Needham plan anytime that you separate service, which is a nice benefit that you have. 457 government plans do not have a 10% penalty like a lot of IRAs and 403B or 401k plans that if you take the money out before age 59 and a half. So those plans have what's called a 10% penalty rule, but a 457 government plan does not. But I should note, if you do take this money and roll it into an IRA account before the age of 59 and a half, it will take on the rules of the IRA. So I generally caution folks not to do that, just in case if you ever had to access that money before the age of 59 and a half. So once you decide, yes, you want to participate in the 457 plan, and yes, you know how much, how you're going to save and how much you're going to put in, there comes we have to think about where we're going to invest the money. And this is where I think my team, we can help you to do that. So, we have a little, a questionnaire that we ask folks and work through that talks about how many years you have until retirement, how you feel about when the market goes up and down, which it's actually a pretty accurate measure these days. When the market was going up for 12 years, everyone was like, oh, I love risk. And now that market's down, people don't necessarily love it. So our little quiz will help to figure out what type of investor you are. And then from there, we can help to set you up a portfolio. And the reason why that's important is that we would never want to have somebody who is really conservative in a high risk portfolio, and now you're not sleeping at night, or even the opposite could happen, where I work with an aggressive investor or an investor who's expecting a lot more in returns, but are in a very conservative model, and they may be, struggling with, why is this thing not growing fast enough? So we definitely help to kind of work through those conversations and help to develop a right mix for you. So that is where kind of a mix goes. There's different mutual funds that come into play when we're setting up the portfolio. And at the bottom of the triangle, it would be the stability of principal or a fixed account. And then all the way up to, the more aggressive investments, which tend to be our small company funds or global international funds. So there is a full array in the menu. I think the menu right now in the Town Anita plan is over 130 investment options. So we do have some website tools, just like everyone else has a website. Our website, I think, is fun, but that's because I'm a finance geek at heart. So I like to play around with, how much should I be saving? What should I be doing? What type of investor I am? How do I do my budget? The website does all of those tools for you. Let me just check the time, and it is getting close to my time. But we do have the tools right available for you that you would be able to access. It kind of looks like this. We take our little guys, Vern and Fern, with us through throughout our website tool that talks about saving for retirement and how do you get there. So it will, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's laid out nice. I think what we found is that once you give people sliders and things on the website, they tend to play with them. So I encourage folks to kind of play with those sliders and, see what type of investor you are, and are you hitting your goals? And then lastly, the way you can get a hold of me is either to send me an email at christinamenard@voyafa.com. Or just give my office a call at 508-372-1045. Or lastly, I have a scheduling tool as well, where you can just click right on my link and book a time right on my calendar. Do I have any questions? And I'm sorry, I went really quick.
Thank you, Christina. Does anyone have any questions for Christina?
I just want to ask, if someone is considering changing their contribution, or perhaps, going from a regular 457B to a Roth, is there a preferred time of the year where this should happen, or can we make the change at any time at any point?
So if you're changing your contribution, so that's all you're doing is I'm just going to make a dollar amount. You're putting in $100 a week into the plan. You want that $100 to go from pre-tax to now you want to do $100 Roth. You can do that at any time. There's no restrictions on time of year. So not a problem.
Great. I did have one quick question. So I did see on the slide that it says that you can so if you were to leave the town, you could take the money that's in the account and transfer it over to an IRA. Is there a way to do the opposite? Like if you have money in an IRA, can you transfer it in to a deferred compensation plan if you were to open one up?
So a 457 deferred compensation plan will accept a traditional IRA, but not a Roth IRA. So only a traditional IRA can roll into the.
Nope, she froze.
Did you get that? Oh, hello?
You froze on us.
That was the very last. That's okay.
Oh boy, so I just said a traditional IRA may roll into a deferred compensation plan, but a Roth IRA cannot roll into a deferred compensation plan.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I don't see any other raised hands. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today and go over the plans that you offer.
Thank you. Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest
Have
of your
a great-
afternoon.
You
Christina's
guys as well.
been
Thank you.
service in the town for a really long time, so she's well known.
Well, I'm not that old. No, I'm just kidding. But I am. I'm now on that chart where I'm like, oh wow, I'm closer to retirement than I wasn't. So
Well, thank you so
Well,
much,
thank you,
Christina.
have a great afternoon, everyone. Enjoy
You
the
too.
weather.
All right, up next, we have Jim Riley from Canna RX to talk about the mail order prescription benefit that they offer for West Suburban Health Group. I'm just gonna promote him to a panelist. I apologize, my Zoom's been a little slow today. Just popped in. Hi, Jim.
Let me unmute.
How are
Turn
you
my
today?
camera. Good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. I know we've got limited time. I do have a presentation, which usually I spend longer on the presentation, but I'll try and get through it quickly and just have something to share on the screen.
Sounds great, thank you.
Um,
You should have the ability to share your screen.
Okay, let me just make sure I share the right one. Let me start the slideshow. Are we seeing it?
Yes, it is in, we can see, yes, we can see it. It's just in a different type of,
Oh, is it the
Slide.
one that shows the
the next slide option as well.
yeah, let me see how I can change that, if I can change it.
Isn't it show taskbar?
Yeah, if you click show taskbar, it might be able to change the display options up in the top left.
Okay,
That might change your display or even display settings.
I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to hold up too much time on. That do
There we
anything?
go. There we go.
That
All
worked.
right. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the first slide if I can. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll just start from here. Anyway, one of the things that I always want to say up front is just kind of explain a little bit about why CanRx can do what we do. And I refer to, and I can always get details on this if anyone's interested, there is a congressional act called the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which has a section that pertains to residents of the US being able to import medications from an international resource for personal use and up to a 90-day supply. So long story short, 20 years ago, we saw the need for a service because a lot of US residents were crossing the border and trying to get medications in Canada for a lot less. So the founders of the company said, how can we make this process easier for US residents? And that's how CanRx came about. And it's an optional program. It's not a required program. It complements your existing prescription benefits. And we've been doing it for 20 years and have a very, we consider safety and standards, high standards, our top priority. So let me see if I can advance this. So with the program, and I like I say, I bounce around a lot. The medications that we're a facilitator. You work with us, you enroll with us, you send us your prescriptions. We have a pharmaceutical team and a customer service team that manage the whole process for you. And we partner with pharmacies in 3 different countries, Canada, UK, and Australia. And one thing I always like to mention is that we get our medications from the exact same manufacturers that you get your medications through your local pharmacy. It's just that our sourcing channels allow us to get them directly to you from one of our international pharmacies for probably on average 70 to 80% less cost than the cost in the United States. So as a result, because the plan is saving that kind of money on the prescriptions that come through CanRx, they don't pass any of the costs onto the employee. So from the employee perspective, the program is basically 100% no cost. There's no copay, there's no enrollment fee, there's no shipping costs. All that is absorbed by the plan. And again, the plan is saving on average 70 to 80% their costs anyway. So we like to refer to it as a win-win for everybody. And I'm looking at the slide here, and I think that I've covered everything on this one. Safety standards, again, the brand name medications are distributed through government regulated channels. What it says here, tier 1 countries, those 3 countries I mentioned are tier 1 countries, and Congress defines tier 1 as a pharmacy or a country that has as strict regulations and requirements as the United States or higher. All pharmacies are accredited, and we inspect them a couple times a year. Every prescription is insured. Just a little fact about that, each prescription is insured up to $2 million through Lloyd's of London. And whenever a patient enrolls with us and sends us a prescription, we do an assessment of very, very basic medical information. Primarily, we like to know what other prescriptions you're taking so we can do what's called a drug utilization review to ensure that any other medications you're taking are not have negative interactions with the medication that you're trying to fill through us. So again, back to the whole safety. And as I said, we get our medications through the same manufacturers, but because of the short end-to-end points that we use through our channels, they come to you in the manufacturer's sealed packaging. And the package does come with the same information that you would get stapled to your bag at Walgreens or Rite Aid. Then we include the original prescription, a receipt, and those are the things that are required by US Customs. And every package does go through Customs on its way to you. Our customer service team, I can't say enough good things about our customer service team. And pardon my phone, I'm going to throw it on the floor so no one can hear it. Again, I got distracted, I apologize. The open enrollment is ongoing. So basically you do not have to sign up with CanRx during your open enrollment period. It's a voluntary program that you can enroll in at any point during the benefit year. Again, our customer service folks are great. We have a call center that's available 24/7. And once you're enrolled with us, we take a proactive approach of reaching out to you I would say probably like every 60 days. So you get a prescription to us, you get your first fill of 90 days. We'll call you around day 60 to see how everything's going and if you're how much medication you have left, if there's any changes to your medications or your health overall. And then if you feel that you're ready for us to process your refill, and then as long as everything is copacetic, we process your refill to ensure that you never run out of your medication. And what it says here on the slide is definitely the truth, because I get comments all the time from customers that once you enroll, we take care of the rest for you. You don't even have to think about it. And I always joke around that all you have to do is remember to take the medication. You have a program site that, and I'm sure that Justine, that there's a link to the CanRx on your West Suburban Health Group site. And you can go to that site, look up your medications and do a search. You can enroll through the site. We don't quite have online enrollment 100% just yet. You can fill out the enrollment form online, then print it for a wet signature and then send it. I would say the most difficult thing about the process is enrolling, which is really not difficult at all because it's just a 2-page form. So oh, sorry. Can you hear that?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. That's a background that you're not supposed to be hearing. So I'm going to skip that. The process is as simple as you check with us, the formulary, to see if your particular medication is available through CanRx. And I'm going to get into what medications we provide. Talk to your doctor, get a 90-day prescription with 3 refills. Your doctor can fax that directly to us, or an original could be mailed to us. And you complete your enrollment form and submit a photo ID, which is everything can be uploaded through the site, with the exception of the prescriptions. We do need either a direct fax from your doctor or the actual original prescription mailed to us. So once you're in there in the system, you can start your savings. We get the prescriptions directly to your door. Like I say, we remind you when refills are due, and there is no cost to the member at all. So I'm going to go back up. I had a slide. Okay, what medications are available? We deal with brand name maintenance type medications only. It's a somewhat limited formulary, but we still have hundreds of medications available. We don't do generics. There's an occasional exception to generics. The goal for us is really to save the plan money. And if a generic is going to cost less than what we can get the brand name for, then we just have you stick with the generic. We do not deal with temperature sensitive medications because to this point, there has been no proven success with an ability to send temperature controlled medications through the mail. No controlled substances or a precursor, and a precursor is something that would be considered an ingredient that could be used toward a controlled substance. And the last thing is we don't deal with medications that require close physician monitoring. A medication where you may call your doctor one day and they say, well, let's move you up to 10 milligrams, and then the following week drop the dosage. If the dosage is going to be flexible and we're dealing with 90-day supplies, it just doesn't make sense for us to try and manage that. Here it says no medication substitutions. What that means is that the medication you're prescribed is the medication you get. And like I say, it comes directly from the manufacturer and the manufacturer packaging. And we would never substitute it with a compatible medication. And again, to check your medications, just visit the program site. There is a link to medications. You can do a search, or you can always just call CanRx directly, our customer service team, and they're more than happy to help you enroll, check if your medications are available, and that you don't have to go through a whole bunch of like press 2 for this, press 3 for that. It's generally you get directly to a person, which is kind of nice. So I think that covers pretty much everything that I wanted to cover as far as the program. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I wasn't paying attention to my time, so I hope I didn't go over.
Nope, you're right on time. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
We do have one question in the audience. Hold on just one moment. I'm just going to promote Susanna. Hi, Sue. If you want to unmute and ask your question, you're able to now.
Okay, thanks. Just a quick question. I do use CanRx for a prescription that I have, but I'm going to be retiring. And I was just wondering if, as long as I stay on the town's benefits as a retiree, if I can continue to use the CanRx.
If you're going to, the only time that you would have to discontinue using CanRx is if you switch to Medicare.
Okay.
So if are you talking about a retirement program that's going to carry you to Medicare, or is this going to be an ongoing?
This will be
program?
prior to being on Medicare. It'll be a few years before I'm Medicare eligible.
All right, so you will be able to continue using CanRx until that time that you switch to Medicare. We're not able to, once you move to a premium insured type of arrangement, we can't work with premium insured or fully insured programs.
Okay.
But since I have you, can I ask you how your experience has been with CanRx?
It's been wonderful. I mean, I don't really have to think about anything at all. Once I did the enrollment, I think that's the main thing, is a lot of people don't know about the program, I think. And
that's my job, to get the word out there.
Yes.
But I'm glad.
And I know that it's listed on our website, but I just don't think people understand what it is, maybe, because I know it's out there and we can see it. But yeah, I'm always reminded when it's time to do a refill. Everyone's always been good about getting new prescriptions as I need them when they expire. So it's I don't really have to think about it, so that's great.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that. And that is the typical feedback we get. So very much appreciate that.
We will continue to promote it.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. I really appreciate you giving me the time.
All righty. So up next, we have Alicia Bowdry from Good Health Gateway and Advocates to talk about our diabetes rewards, care rewards program. Let me just promote her over to panelists. Hi, Alicia. Alicia, if you can unmute, you should have the ability to. Hi, Alicia, how are you?
I'm good. You just need to give Patricia Joyce the access. She's going to be presenting today for Abacus in the Good Health Gateway program.
Okay, hold on just one moment. Sorry about
Sorry for the
that.
confusion.
There we go. Hi, Patricia, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm hoping you can see my screen.
No, we can't see you right now.
Let me just work on that. Let's do that.
Good.
I can see it now.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you again so much for the opportunity to present here today. And I'm going to turn my camera on as well so that hopefully this works. Nope, there we go. Thank you so much, everybody. So my name is Patty, and I'm from the Good Health Gateway Diabetes Care Rewards Program, and I've been the account manager for a couple years now for the West Suburban Health Group. So thanks again for the opportunity to speak about the program today. We have a lot of great information to share. The program's been around for about 13 years now, if you can believe it, and it's been extremely successful. We have great participation. And thank you for letting us talk about the program and making sure everybody's aware of this amazing free benefit that they have through the West Suburban Health Group. So what is the Diabetes Care Rewards Program overall? It's a member support program that is offered for the town of Needham employees and those on the West Suburban, as I mentioned, health group, active health plans. These are the plans that are covered as part of your employment, obviously, under the town of Needham. And as being a part of that, you have free access to this program. You must be enrolled in one of those programs to have access to the Diabetes Care Rewards Program. And that is how we work with you and track you and manage your diabetes by also the fact that you are on the health plan. First and foremost, it's a personal and confidential program for you to work with us to support you on your diabetes diagnosis, helps you track and manage your diabetes. We offer nurse educator visits, and we'll talk more about that. We offer opportunities for you to start engaging with your physician even more than you might already be doing so. And by doing that and reporting the information back to us at the Good Health Gateway program, the benefit is 0 copays on all of your covered diabetes medications and supplies. So it's a great opportunity to get on track with your health and also the reward of the 0 copay. As I mentioned, why be a part of the program? First of all, it's free. Your employer is offering this to you as long as you are enrolled in the active health plans. We provide you care reminders. So as we mentioned, there are activities that need to be completed for the program. And these are activities that someone with diabetes normally is completing, and we'll review those, such as your lab work, your A1C, your foot exam, your eye exam. These are all things that someone with diabetes is already working on with their physician and completing. We just need you to document that you've completed these activities and send the reminders to us, and we'll go through ways that you can do that. And of course, once you complete all those care reminders, you can get 0 copays on your diabetes medications and supplies. So it's quite a significant cost savings. We cover insulin, we cover brand medications, the needles, anything that is part of your pharmacy benefit is part of this program. And of course, as the years have gone on with this program, we've done reporting and we've followed up with members, leads to better health for all the members on the program and a better lifestyle. Once you decide you want to be a part of the program, again, you can enroll at any time. As long as you are currently enrolled on one of the health plans, you can sign up for the program today. You do not have to wait for the open enrollment period that is established for the medical insurance, but you do need to be active and enrolled with a health plan ID number on a covered medical plan through the West Suburban Health Group. So you can enroll by going to goodhealthgateway.com. And you would select the West Suburban Health Group Diabetes Care Rewards from the drop-down list that you see here. It will appear and it will say West Suburban Health Group. You would select that group, and then that would allow you to go through a couple screens, provide some information. And as I mentioned, it's the member ID number from your health plan card. That will allow you to enroll in the program. If you need some assistance, you can call our helpline at 800-643-8028 and work with our helpline staff to get you enrolled. We really would like you to, enroll one of these ways so we can get you established with the portal access. Being a part of this online goodhealthgateway.com access allows you to review your activities, allows you to submit your information to us electronically. And we'll talk about those ways as well. But it really allows you to engage and, be proactive and see where you are in the status of your program completion. We also have a mobile site that works well that you can log in on your smartphone and see your activities and what you have completed so far as well. So as I talked about earlier, the goal of the program is to engage with your doctor and complete the labs and exams for the program to obtain your zero copays. So this program really, wants you to engage with your physician, your specialist, whoever it might be that you're currently working with for your diabetes care. And we ask you once a year to obtain your eye exam, your foot exam, your lipid panel, your urine protein tests, and then twice a year obtain your A1C and get that completed. And then you would send those documents over to us. By completing those documents, you then will get your zero copay on your covered diabetes medications and supplies. What is also great, if you're new and enrolling in the program and you've already completed some of these activities this program year, that's fine. We do a one-year look back. So to get you enrolled and started in the program, say you completed all of these exams in February, you would just fill out the form, what we call a provider confirmation form, and send that to us and have your physician sign off on it. Or if you have copies of super bills, or if you have copies of your lab exams, you can fax that over to us to get it in the system and get you enrolled in the program for the zero copays, which is great. So you don't have to go and obtain the information again or obtain the lab tests again. As long as it's done within the last year, send us the documentation. It can be from your medical online records, the portal that you have for your medical records. You can do screenshots of that electronic health record. There we go. And make sure that you send that to us as documentation that you've completed the exams. As I mentioned, many people save quite a few $100s a year by being a part of this program. Averages $400 to $600 for members a year to be a part of the program and receive the zero copays. So that includes insulin, as I mentioned, brand name medications, generic medications, glucometers, the test strips, and again, anything that is actually a part of your covered pharmacy benefit today would be, and is considered a diabetes classified medication, would be part of this program and eligible for the zero copay. Another benefit being part of the Good Health Gateway program is we provide educational information to members that are enrolled. Once you sign up, as I mentioned, on the portal and provide us your email address and your mobile phone number, we will send you out information regarding webinars that we hold. We also have a Good Health Gateway YouTube page that members have access to. They can look up past webinars to find out, as mentioned here, popular diets that impact diabetes. We do a nice overview of type 1 and type 2 diabetes that members sometimes ask their families to view so they can understand more about the disease state. But we have, about a dozen videos out there on different types of educational information for diabetes that members have access to at any time. We also send quarterly newsletters. We provide updates on what might be going on within diabetes. We also provide updates on the program, and we provide recipes and educational information. Also, we have an ongoing Facebook group that members can sign up to be a part of and receive posts and information about the program and have interaction with other members if they choose. I think an important part of the program that members realize is that it is absolutely confidential. We do not share any of your information with your employer. We receive the information and work with the carriers and get the data to reach out to you so we can send you mailers and provide you educational information and the opportunity to enroll in the program. But we do not report on any individual information back to the employers. We report on an aggregate. So how many people have a diabetes diagnosis, how many people are enrolled in the program, and how many people are currently receiving the zero copay. So it is extremely private and confidential, and following all of the HIPAA privacy and security standards with the data. What I have here is just a couple of frequently asked questions, and I thought we could go through them. Also, that will leave an opportunity for us to also answer any questions that anyone might have in general about the program. So just so you know who's eligible to participate, we talked about earlier, anyone who's a part of the West Suburban Health Group enrollment and health plans and the active plan members with a diabetes diagnosis. We send out flyers quarterly to everyone who's a part of the program to encourage them to enroll. And on the back of that flyer is a list of all the towns and cities that are participating in the West Suburban Health Group, and also is a list of all the insurance plans, active plans that are a part of the Good Health Gateway program and eligible to enroll. So once I have registered and met the program requirements, how quickly can I receive the zero copays? Takes about 5 business days from the date that all of the program requirements are completed and entered into our system. So once you send that information over, either fax, the PCF form that we talk about that you'll get in your welcome letter. Once we have all that entered in our system, the member will get their own ID card, an additional card that they need to bring to the pharmacy. It's called the RX Rewards card. And what you'll do for your diabetes specific medications, you'll present this card and make sure that the pharmacist enters the number into their system so that they can process your diabetes specific claims at zero copay. So you will need to bring that additional card with you. Again, you can pull it up on your mobile phone as well if you happen to have that with you when you go to the pharmacist, or the physical card. And you need to present that to make sure you get the zero copays on the diabetes specific medications. What diabetes medications can I get for zero copays in this program? As we mentioned, anything that is covered on the West Suburban Health Group active health plans for the pharmacy plan, you would use your Good Health Gateway RX Rewards card to get the zero copay. Can other members of my family who have diabetes participate in the Good Health Gateway Diabetes Care Rewards program? Absolutely. It's for the employees and anyone who is covered on that health plan. So spouse, dependents, as long as they're enrolled in one of the active health plans under the West Suburban Health Group, any one of those family members can enroll in the program. Each family member will have to register and provide separate email addresses and provide their own program requirements and information. If you do have a dependent, you will under 18, they need to call the helpline and make sure that underage dependent will get registered, and our helpline will assist you with that child for registering for the program. And that is it for today. So if any questions regarding the program or how to register, you can call our helpline Monday through Friday, 800-643-8028, or of course, goodhealthgateway.com at any time. It provides all the information you need, any of the forms you need. We also have forms and information on the West Suburban Health Group website that is out there. That was created by Gallagher and maintained by them. I work with them closely to keep that up to date. So any employee who goes on that website, they can have access to that as well. Any questions from anybody out there regarding the program, how to enroll?
Don't see any hands raised at the moment.
If anyone needs any extra flyers or information, please look on the website, look on the West Suburban Health Group website. As I mentioned, we have a YouTube page that you can find information out about the program and about diabetes itself. I'm not quite sure if the town itself maintains information on their website regarding benefits. I've seen some, some flyers out there. Those are
We
available,
do.
of course. Excellent, yeah. So you can download those. I'm happy to provide any copies, if you guys need anything. Justine, for the town to have on site, people come in with questions, just reach out, and let me know, and I can provide color copies.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Patty, for coming in and presenting.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us. Happy to
All
help.
right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right, so up next we have Sophia Brestino from Health Equity to talk about health savings accounts. Hi, Sophia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And you can hear me, see me, and see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me today. Again, my name is Sophia, and I am with Health Equity. And today I am going to give you some more information regarding your HSA. So my presentation is focused on how to harness the power of an HSA. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right in. When you select an HSA qualified health plan, you can pair it with a health savings account from Health Equity. The two really do work hand in hand, and together they deliver incredible benefits. One of the biggest benefits of the HSA is the triple tax advantage. So the HSA is actually the only healthcare account with this triple tax advantage. So we like to call them the unicorn of healthcare accounts. But with this triple tax advantage, what it allows you to do is to contribute tax deductible funds, grow tax-free earnings, and that's through interest and investments if you choose to invest your HSA. And then lastly, you get to enjoy tax-free distributions to cover qualified medical expenses. So like I mentioned, if you did choose that HSA qualified health plan, and keep in mind, sometimes these health plans are known as high deductible or consumer choice health plans. They're just different terms for this HSA qualified health plan. However, if you do pair it with your HSA, you can then use your HSA funds, which are tax-free, to purchase medical expenses for your healthcare needs. And throughout the presentation, we will review some more qualified medical expenses so you can get a better idea of what you can use your HSA on. Before we dive too deep into HSA education, I do want to make sure that we all understand a few health insurance terms that will be important for our discussion today. So first, I do want to start off with premiums. Premiums are what you pay, usually per pay period, to have health insurance. Doesn't matter if you're not using your insurance at all, you are still paying that full premium. Then we have your deductible, which is the amount of money you have to pay for your health care before your health insurance plan will start to pay for medical services. So in other words, your health insurance kicks in only after you've paid the amount of your deductible out of your own pocket. It is important to know that generally plans with lower premiums do have higher deductibles, and plans with high premiums have lower deductibles. So HSA qualified plans generally do have lower premiums. And then we've got your out-of-pocket maximum, which is the maximum amount that you will pay out of your own pocket for covered medical services in a plan year. After you spend this amount on deductibles and coinsurance for in-network care and services, your health plan pays 100% of the costs of covered benefits. And then lastly, we have preventative care. So preventative care includes screenings, checkups, and counseling to prevent illness, disease, or other health concerns. How this ties into your HSA qualified plan is that it does cover 100% of your preventative care. So that does mean you can confidently get ahead of your health with your annual physicals, and you don't have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. So like I mentioned, HSA qualified plans generally do have lower premiums than traditional plans. So that means you are unlocking immediate savings. And this is giving you the option to really fund your HSA with the money that you're saving on premiums. And because it is done pre-tax, you do have more money to pay for your qualified medical expenses. So we're talking a lot about tax savings, and I really want to put that into perspective. So hypothetically, let's say you are saving 20% in taxes, and that's between payroll, federal, and state income taxes by contributing to your HSA. That means that for every $1,000 you contribute, you're saving about $200. That's an extra $200 that you can use on health insurance deductibles and coinsurance, medical treatment, including non-traditional treatments like massage, chiropractic treatment, and even acupuncture. And I mentioned massage. I mean, every single one of us deserves a good massage, but it is important that with this expense, it does need to be recommended by a physician. So you will need a a letter of medical necessity. But you could also use your saved funds on prescription medication, everyday items such as cold medicine, allergy medicine, and other over-the-counter medications. And you can even use it on vision and dental expenses that may not be covered by your health plan. Instead of paying federal, state, and payroll taxes, the money is yours to use on your medical needs or even just to save it for the future. You can also use your HSA as a retirement nest egg. So if you are maxing out your 401k and your individual retirement account contributions, and you're looking for another place to invest in your future, your HSA is a really great place to start. I did mention that you can invest your HSA funds, but not a lot of people are aware of that. So again, you can invest your HSA funds and they can potentially grow over the long term. We do like to tell our members to think of their HSA as a health IRA. And what we mean by that is when you turn 65, your HSA will actually act like a traditional IRA, allowing penalty-free distributions for any reason, and distributions made for purposes other than qualified medical expenses will just be subject to ordinary income taxes. All right, I do want to take a moment to review. So just take a moment to think about this question that I'm going to ask you here. And then on the next slide, I will reveal the answer. So based on what I've said so far, which taxes will you be required to pay on the money you contribute to your HSA? Is it A, state income tax, B, federal income tax, or C, payroll tax? Or D, excuse me, none of the above. So we've got 4 options here. So I'll give everybody just a second to think about this, and then I will reveal the answer. All right, the answer is none of the above. So as a reminder, HSAs really are a great way to save for your long-term medical expenses, and you get that triple tax savings of HSA contributions being tax deductible. They're growing tax-free and can be withdrawn tax-free for qualified medical expenses. Let's take a moment to review contribution limits. So depending on your health insurance coverage, that will depend on the limit for your contributions. So for single coverage, you can contribute up to $3,850. And for family coverage, you can contribute up to $7,750. And as a reminder, if you are 55 or older, you can actually contribute an additional $1,000 as a catch-up contribution. And take a moment to look at the tax savings. It is based on a 20% tax savings rate and what you can potentially save for maxing out your HSA. The highlight of this slide is definitely employer contributions. Not provide that. So it's really great that you are receiving funds in your HSA. So for single coverage, you will receive $1,000, and for family coverage, you will receive $2,000 annually. It is important to note that employer contributions are part of your contribution limit. So that is why we have this next slide here. We really want to break it down for you if you plan on maxing out your HSA. So for example, if you are an individual and you want to contribute the maximum amount because you are receiving $1,000 as an employer contribution, that means you would need to contribute $2,850 in order to reach that maximum limit of $3,850. If you are on a family plan because you are receiving $2,000, that means you would need to contribute $5,750 in order to reach that maximum limit of $7,750. I do want to mention that the 55 and over additional catch-up contribution of $1,000 doesn't apply to the maximum amount, but it is in addition to it if you are eligible. All right. Always know that you never lose your HSA dollars. So money in your account does roll over year after year, even if you change health plans or employers. That is super important to note. that this account really does follow you wherever you go. I've gone through a lot of HSA education. So really what we want to do is tie it all together. So first we are going to meet Camilla, and then I've got a story following that, just to really show the flexibility of an HSA and understand the benefit a little bit more. So we've got Camilla. She's in her late 20s. She's healthy and rarely goes to the doctor except for yearly physicals and vaccines. When comparing options, she realizes these visits are 100% covered with her HSA qualified health plan, and she can save $50 each pay period on premiums compared to the traditional plan. Instead of paying higher premiums that she likely won't benefit from, she decides instead to build a health savings by contributing the $100 monthly premium difference directly into her health savings account. One late summer evening, while enjoying a bike ride through town, she's involved in an accident. Not knowing the extent of her injury, she calls a friend to pick her up and bring her to urgent care. Camilla immediately gets knots in her stomach, thinking about the bill from the visit, and her friend noticed this and reminded her that she can use the savings she's built in her HSA to pay for the visit. Just to make sure, Camilla calls Health Equity, even though she thinks it's unlikely that someone will answer at such a late hour. And within seconds, someone is on the other end of the line, assuring her that she can use the funds in her HSA to pay for the visit. In addition, she learns she can use her HSA to pay for both chiropractic visits and prescription medications that resulted from the injury. In November, Camilla is still recovering from her accident when she's offered a new position working remotely from home for a company she's always wanted to work for. Her HSA account stays with her as she transitions to the new job, allowing her to continue her medical treatment without interruption. At the end of the year, Camilla realizes she spent about $1,000 recovering from her accident. And by paying with her tax-deductible HSA funds, Camilla saved $200 that went towards her qualified treatment. Now fully recovered, she hops back on her bike with confidence, knowing she made the right choice by choosing an HSA. Next, we've got Mia and Evan. They are expecting their second child in July, and their HSA qualified plan year begins on January 1st. Their HSA qualified plan has a deductible and includes a small percentage payment of coinsurance until their out-of-pocket maximum is met. They decide to contribute the family maximum amount in their HSA to cover the medical expenses associated with the birth of their child. They start their HSA contributions high for each paycheck. So by July 1st, they will have deposited their total deductible amount in their HSA. That way, when they receive the bills from the birth, they will have funds in their HSA to cover the entire deductible. In July, their beautiful child Benjamin is born, and they are very delighted. As planned, they reached their deductible using tax-free HSA distributions. At this point, they log into the Health Equity portal and adjust their HSA contributions to reach the maximum yearly contribution limit and cover any costs of co-insurance. To their surprise, they still have a couple $100s left in their HSA at the end of the year, which they roll over to use for future medical needs. So these are just two examples on how an HSA can be very flexible and be available for those emergencies or those planned medical expenses. So my last question for you today is, how will you save with your HSA this year? So maybe you are going to contribute the savings amount on your premiums. Maybe you're going to max it out. If you're interested in investing your HSA funds, Health Equity is definitely here to help. Or maybe you are not sure yet, which is completely okay. We have a lot of resources that you can use to really understand your HSA. One of those resources we have is healthequity.com/QME. So it is a link that's available to you at any time. And it is a condensed list of the IRS publication on qualified medical expenses. So really, it's just an easier way for you to see qualified medical expenses that you can use your HSA funds on. So I mentioned that you can use it on medical expenses. vision and dental, but know that you can also use it for personal health and alternative care. So there are hundreds of HSA qualified items. What you see on this slide is a very small sampling of what is eligible. So I highly recommend using this link, whether you are looking up an item or maybe you just want to view the list and get a better idea. There really are lots of items that many members don't even know are HSA qualified. So it's a really great resource to use if you ever have any questions. Next is to go mobile. If you do want to access all of your account information on your phone, you can go mobile at any time and just download the Health Equity mobile app. So other features that you have include photo documentation. So if you want to save all of your receipts, which we highly recommend that you save all of them, you can do that through the mobile app. You can send payments, request reimbursement, manage your debit card transactions, view your claims, and much, much more. One new feature that we have is the mobile barcode scanning. So it just allows you to scan a barcode and you will immediately know whether that item is HSA qualified. So it is a really great resource if you are on the go and just curious, you can scan it and immediately you will know if you can use your HSA funds. And lastly, just always know that Health Equity is here for you. Our member services team is available 24/7, 365 days a year to take your calls and respond to any questions that you have about your Health Equity HSA account. You can reach them at 866-735-8195. And we also included our Learn site, which is available at healthequity.com/learn. So that is additional online tools and resources that you have available to you. And with that being said, that does end out my presentation. So if we have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Does anybody have any questions regarding health equity and HSAs? Doesn't look like anyone does, but I just want to thank you so much for presenting today, Sophia. It was very informative.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Up next, we have James Flynn from Life Plus to talk about Boston Mutual Life Insurance, as well as iMed Vision Care. Let me just promote Jim as a panelist.
And we're running a little behind, but hopefully Jim can combine the two of them.
He has the next two spots, so
There you go.
we should be able to get back on schedule. Hi, Jim. How are you? Looks like you're still muted, Jim.
How's that?
Perfect.
We can hear you.
That's good. Oh, a little tired. I just drove back from Binghamton, New York, but I got my bearings together now.
There you go.
So we're ready to go. I'm going to attempt to share screen. And the last time my computer didn't behave.
Fingers crossed.
What's that?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. What do you see right now?
We can see your Zoom screen. Now we see your folders. So
That's a good start.
a good sign.
So I'm just going to go over the basic life first for the employees. It's a pretty straightforward thing. All the employees are covered for a $5,000 death benefit. The town pays half the cost. The cost of the employee monthly is $4.10. And if you're on the plan and you retire with the town, it does reduce to $2,000, a $2,000 benefit. Okay. Now the basic life, because it's $5,000, every municipality has an option to buy up from there. So that's called the voluntary term life. And I hope I don't lose everything. Oh, that's good. So I'm just going to show you a grid. I'm sure HR is familiar with this, but just so the employees can see. This is the monthly cost, if you find your age over here. And this is the monthly cost if you want to add another 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up. Actually, you can go to 7 times your salary in even amounts of $10,000. Okay. So I'll, are these going to be available on the website later?
They are.
Oh, good. So this is just an example of the monthly cost. You find your age bracket. As long as you don't go past 7 times your salary, you can apply for that amount of term life insurance. I will say this year, or this is not a special open enrollment for the life insurance, meaning no health questions. If they want to get on the basic and if they want to add some voluntary term, there is going to be health questions. Those are granted every now and then, and I can work with the town on that. But just so you know, they may see up in this right-hand corner where it says guaranteed issue, and that's for new employees in their first 30 days. And when we get a special open enrollment for the whole town. But annually, they do just have to answer health questions until we get one of those true open enrollments.
Mhm.
So
Now,
that's
will
the
that also
one.
involve, sorry, Jim, will that also involve a physical or just a health questionnaire?
Typically, it's just a health questionnaire.
Mhm.
And then based on how they answer the questions, they either grant it or don't. But that's a good point, because out there with individual life, if you buy it on your own, there is usually an exam and medical records and all that. Here with group, they just really are going to ask some health questions, and then they just make a decision
Thank you.
with the term. You can get coverage for your spouse, and your spouse can apply for half the amount that the employee takes or applies for. So there's a 50% rule there. Also, if I scroll to the bottom without messing things up, there's a nice little rider right here for dependent life. For $1.90 a month, you can cover all your kids for $10,000 of life insurance. So that's available, but the employee does at least have to buy 10,000 of voluntary term because it's a rider. Okay. And there's a good little cheat sheet here that talks about that 50% rule with the spouse I talked about, the 7 times salary right there. So if the employees, go on the website and look at that, there's a nice little cheat sheet down there. So that is the term life insurance. They're also offered what's called permanent life insurance. And I'm going to try to pull that up right now. So this one works different, just so the employees know. Term is going to end at some point. That's why they call it term. It's usually the whole time that you work for the town. All right. However, if you leave the town before you reach the age 60, there's a portability option. Okay. Where they can pay for it from home. But then the coverage is going to end at age 70 no matter what. So there's also a permanent life option. And the best way I explain this, because I do life insurance and most people don't, you just got to remember that it's called permanent life because the coverage does not end. All right. This typically costs a little bit more, but that's because the coverage never ends. And there's a feature where it also builds up cash value inside the policy. So there's a little note there. This one, I couldn't make a grid for I can't for my municipalities because there's so many different scenarios. It goes on your exact age, not just an age bracket, and it depends how much they want to buy. So if somebody's interested in this, they can just email me or call me, and I give them their specific prices and how much they can get. But that's how the permanent life differs. And also with the permanent life, it doesn't matter when or how you leave the town of Needham. You can retire, or if you leave early, you just leave. This is something that's 100% portable, and you get to keep it. Whether you get another job someplace or whether you just end employment. And of course, if you retire, you get to keep it as well. Should I be asking if there's general questions on each one with the employees, or should I be asking if there's any questions on this?
We've been keeping questions to the end of the presentation, but we can see if anyone has any questions on permanent and voluntary.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't see any hands raised, but I'll let you know if someone does.
Okay.
I also just want to make a clarification, Jim, and can you just confirm the town only contributes to basic life insurance? Any other kind of product is 100% cost on the employee, right?
Correct. Exactly. The only thing what they do get is a group rate. you know, but otherwise that's true. I should have mentioned it's 100%. Aside from the basic life, everything else is 100% paid by the employee.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. Would you like me to go right into the IMED?
Sure.
If no one
yeah.
has any questions, yeah.
All right. So let's pull up the IMED. Now what we're gonna do here. So the way it starts off with the IMED is the first thing they give you if you're on the plan is an exam every year, and there's just a $10 copay. And then you get your exam at no cost. When it comes to frames right here, if you go to a IMED network eye doctor in the network, they give you $130 towards frames. And if for some reason you spend over $130, there's a 20% discount off of that. Now, I'm told that if you do go to an IMED participant doctor, that you can get, you know, frames for $130. All right, but of course, like I said, if you go over, there's the 20% balance on that. Pretty close to the same thing with the contact lenses. Zero copay, $130 allowance towards contact lenses, and then there's a 15% discount off of anything you go over that. And the disposables are the same thing, pretty plus a balance over $130 for the disposable ones. So if somebody wants to go out of network, of course, we have the plastic lenses and the covered lenses, the different tiers. But if you go out of network, all you got to do is just slide to the side right here. And this is the dollar figure that they're gonna reimburse you whatever you spend going out of network. I will say it's kind of common when someone likes their eye doctor that they'll get their exam through their eye doctor, whatever that cost. And then if they need whatever they need, they'll go to their IMED to get these discounted prices. That's what I hear for the most part. Now, when it comes to the prices, right here, there is just the employee, and then they do just a spouse and the employee and children, and then a whole entire family plan. And here are the monthly costs on that. Now, I will say everything is 12 months. If you look, except for the frames, that's once every 2 years. Otherwise, every 12 months, you are getting these discounts that they're showing right up there. In order to find out if your doctor is in the network, and I can send you this presentation slide, which just reiterates what I just talked about right here, but they just make it a little bit clearer right there. What's off in the frames, what's off in the lenses. And to find out if your doctor participates, we just go to this imed.com for a locator and to see if your doctor is one of the providers or not. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. There's some kind of, I think these are fairly new, some of these little add-ons, 40% off of an additional pair of glasses if you want like sunglasses or something. LASIK, right there with LASIK, they have a 15% off on that. Even, well, 15% off of the contact lenses. And we're 20% off of non-prescribed sunglasses. And this is kind of new. I think there's something with the even hearing exams, 40% off of hearing exams. And I believe, I don't remember that being a part of it. So that could be new there. But once again, any general questions on the IMED plan?
We do have one question. Let me just promote Michelle as a panelist so that she can ask her question.
I'm going to go back to the other screen.
Hi, Michelle. If you unmute, you can ask your question to Jim.
Thank you. So I was just wondering, if you don't use your benefits from year to year, they don't roll over. Like if I didn't use the glasses last year and I've had the plan for it, doesn't, it's just year to year. You snooze, you lose, correct?
Yeah, I know dental plans have rollovers. Yeah, there's no rollover plan on this vision or most visions. So yeah, there's not. But I know you might be referring to that because a lot of dental plans do have rollovers.
Okay, and to get the list of, can you just reiterate, to get the list of the participating eye doctors, where am I going?
You're going to imed.com. I'm going to pull that up again. And then there's a section where it says providers.
Mm-hmm.
Once you go to imed.com. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. And there'll be a tab to go into providers.
And one last question. On the frames, is it a specific type of frame in order to get the 130, or does it matter? I mean, I actually have 4 frames right now at the eye doctor waiting for me to pick one out. Then they range from an Ann Taylor to I think it's like a Clink to one of them could be a Gucci or whatever, but they're all.
That's simple, Michelle, get the Gucci ones.
I know.
They're really good. Get the good stuff.
So I'm just wondering, is it like, it doesn't matter what the brand name is, it's just 130 and then 20% off the variance? Over
Correct.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
So
very upset at my eye doctor. So, because I've been paying into you guys now for years, and every time I go there, I get new glasses every 2 years. And
Yeah.
they'll say to me, oh, it's cheaper for me. It'll be cheaper for you if I just discount you 20% off of everything instead of us going by the plan that you're on. But looking at this, I'm thinking it would have been probably cheaper for me to be using your plan. So.
Yeah, that's common. Like I said, once you get an exam from a doctor, I think as soon as you walk out of the room, they've got all these choices of glasses and frames, the whole thing. And they do want you to use them all the way through. That's why I will say a lot of people will get their exam from their doctor and then go to their plan, whether it's through IMED or something else, to really save money.
No, I have a feeling that my doctor's part of IMED. I just have to check that out.
So Michelle,
Good.
if you go onto our benefits page, in the insurance box, if you click the link that it says IMED right on it, it'll take you right to the website, and you can click the find a provider link on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Jim?
Okay.
It doesn't look like it, but thank you so much, Jim.
Well, thank you. And I'll talk to you soon.
All righty.
Thanks. Bye.
So we have a couple of minutes until our next presenter, so I think we might just want to take a little break. And we'll be back right at 3:15.
Yep.
Okay.
Hang on, everyone. Thanks. I forgot.
You're my co-pilot here.
No.
Hi, Ryan. There we go.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Excellent.
You should have ability to share your screen if you have a presentation. If not.
Yeah, no, I figured I'd just chat for a few minutes.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm assuming we have, how many people do we have on, or is this just being recorded?
We have it recorded, but we also have about 12 attendees. So.
Oh, great. Awesome. All right. So again, my name is Ryan. Hi, everyone. So if you're not familiar with what Aflac is or what we do, essentially we're a supplemental insurance company that helps provide some out-of-pocket expenses, co-pays, just essentially recover some of those out-of-pocket expenses you're going to have due to an accident or an illness. Some of our benefits are great just because of the fact they cover you off and on and off the job, I should say. And then we have plans that help cover not just yourself, but your families as well. So I'll run through our accident plan first. This is definitely our most popular plan. It's It's a plan that covers you, as I mentioned earlier, 24 hours a day on and off the job. This plan, you can cover yourself, a legal spouse, dependents up into the age of 26, or an entire family, depending on how much coverage you're looking for. Costs will vary, of course, but this plan is an accident-only protection plan. So it's essential that, first of all, if you do have an accident, that you do see a doctor within 72 hours of that accident. Otherwise, Aflac, I have to say, Aflac will deny your claim. So you got to be mindful of that, first of all. Now, this plan will cover any type of accident, but I'm going to give you two different examples so you can help understand how the plan does cover you. First, the first one is more of a major accident, car accident. Let's say you're driving down the road, someone runs into you, they weren't paying attention, crashes into you, maybe not life-threatening, but you break a leg, okay? Take an ambulance ride, spend time in the hospital. The way the plan is going to help cover you is like this. Getting in that ambulance is going to pay you a couple $100. First night in the hospital, we're paying you $1,000. Every night after that, we're paying you $250 per night. If you needed a surgery of any sort due to that accident, we're going to help cover some of those out-of-pocket expenses due to your surgery as well. If you got moved into a rehab facility, we're covering you $100 per day in rehab. If you needed things like a walking group, crutches, wheelchair, back brace, any device that helps you move around, we're paying towards those devices as well, most right around $300. If, God forbid, the accident was severe enough where you did die in the accident, we're going to pay a beneficiary of your choice up to $40,000. And then if your spouse is, God forbid, were to die, there's a $40,000 payout there, and children are a $20,000 payout benefit for the plan. Now, an accident like I'm talking about, I've literally seen payout $3, $4, $5 grand, easily up to $10,000. It really, in the end, is always going to depend on the severity of that accident. Okay. Oh, and a couple other things that I should have mentioned as well. If the accident was severe enough where you had to widen your doorway to put a wheelchair ramp in your home, we're going to pay a home modification benefit up to $3,000 to help cover some of those out-of-pocket expenses also. If you or anyone on this plan is injured during an organized sports activity, the payout benefits on this plan are actually 25% greater than a normal payout benefit. So a lot of parents will get this plan to help cover their kids while they're playing sports, because they know at some point inevitably you're going to end up in the emergency room, and if not severe enough, in the hospital. Now, luckily, not everyone's getting into accidents like that every day, but I'm going to give you my own personal example. So this is going back a few years. Long story short, I got a cut on my forearm here. Was not life-threatening by any means. So I didn't want to go to the emergency room, because for me to walk in the emergency room is a $250 copay on my health plan, right? So I went to an urgent care. It was a $35 copay. I went in, cleaned up my wounds, gave me 3 stitches, and they sent me on my way. The next day, I filed my claim with Aflac. Aflac then paid me $180 for the doctor's visit and the 3 stitches. Now, if I had gotten 10 stitches, it would have paid me much more. Again, the more severe, the greater the payout benefit. I went back 10 days later to get the stitches taken out. It didn't cost me anything. It was included in my original visit to the urgent care. But Aflac pays you for every follow-up visit due to your accident a $35 copay, whether it's your PCP, specialist, chiropractor, whatever it may be. We're going to pay you that $35 copay. Okay, so Aflac covered my $35 copay and put $180 in my pocket. Okay, now I won't sit here and tell you that every time you're going to make money on the plan like I did there. That was nice. I enjoyed that. But you can see how it's going to help cover those out-of-pocket expenses you're going to have associated with emergency room visits, urgent care visits, and so on. Now, as I mentioned, on this plan, you can cover yourself, a legal spouse, your dependents up in the age of 26. For an individual on this plan, for the town employees, you're looking at $5.97 a week. Even if you covered yourself, legal spouse, and all your dependents, and it doesn't matter how many you have, 1, 5, we don't add on an additional cost to more dependents. You're looking at $11.67 per week on that plan. Are we taking questions, by the way, at all? Okay, I'll stop there for a second and see if anyone has any questions.
Do we have any questions regarding the accident plan for Aflac? It looks like we do. Hold on just one moment.
Okay.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, it's the annoying one again. My question is, I always have questions, so that's why I say I'm the annoying one.
Good, we like that.
So this is kind of a silly question, but my daughter is employed by the school or whatever, to not Needham, but in our town. And when you said some people cover their kids because they're in sports or whatever. My question is, so she's now also been hired as a coach for one of their varsity sports teams, which is great. But would that cover her for that too? Because it's technically a sport, but she's employed by them. So
Yeah, it wouldn't cover the organized sports benefit, but it would cover her if she were injured, regardless. You just wouldn't get that additional 25% discount. I'm sorry, not discount, payout.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm sorry if you covered this, Ryan, but how long does one have to be enrolled for benefits to kick in?
Day one.
Day one.
And yeah, there's no waiting
period.
Some of our plans, and I'll get into that on a couple of our other plans. Some of our plans have a waiting period. But on this accident plan, literally, if your plan, we're in April, right? Can't keep track of the time. If your plan went into effect on May 1st, and you had, or someone on your plan covered was injured on May 1st, you can file a claim right away.
Great, thank you. Just want to tell the audience, we've seen this program used by employees and staff, so definitely worth taking a look into. It's very beneficial if you unfortunately happen to need it.
Yeah, I'm going to cover a lot of great plans here. I will say that this is definitely our most used plan throughout the country. There's a reason why this is when they show one of our commercials, it's the only one that they show, because it's our most used plan for sure. We have some other great plans, but yeah, if you're going to have a few of our plans, I guarantee this will be the one you use first. All right. Now, saying that, this plan that I'm going to talk about next, to me, although I love our accident plan, I've used our accident plan. This plan, to me, I'm going to talk about next, is our most important plan, and that's our short-term disability plan. This is a paycheck protection plan, which covers you in the event you're out of work due to an accident off the job. There are some options to get an on-the-job rider on this plan, but I like to emphasize that unless you get that rider, this plan will only cover off-the-job accidents. And then any illness that keeps you out of work. It will also cover maternity leave anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the type of delivery that you do have. And of course, complications from maternity as well, or delivery as well. But the nice thing about our plan, it's customizable to each individual need. We have 2 guaranteed issued plans in the state of Mass, which is a 3 or 6 month disability plan, meaning it would cover you for whatever's keeping you out of work for that period of a time, okay? Whatever period you chose. So that's the first part of it. You choose what your benefit period is going to be. The second part is our elimination period. And that basically means how quickly you want to be paid by AFLAC. So the fastest we pay anyone for any kind of an accident, right away. You have an accident, you fill out the paperwork, we get that into AFLAC for you, and AFLAC's going to then cut you a lump sum check up to 60% of your pay. And the fastest we would pay, oh, and by the way, it is a tax-free benefit as well, which is pretty important, because when you're out of work, you need every dime you can get at that point, right? Fastest we pay for any kind of an illness is a minimum of a 7-day waiting period. So you have to be out for an illness for a minimum of 7 days, then we kick it on day 8, cover you for the time that you're out. Now, saying that, this is a plan I can't give you an exact cost on, because there's going to be some variables to the plan, or the cost of the plan. And what I mean by that is your age plays a little bit of a role, not a significant role, but a little bit of a role there. Your salary does play a significant role, because the more money you make, the greater your monthly tax-free benefit from AFLAC is going to be. But of course, the more the plan is going to cost as well. It also is going to be based on how you build that plan. So a 3 versus a 6-month plan, the 3-month plan is going to be cheaper. And then those elimination periods as well also come into play. And what I mean is this: if you said, Ryan, I want to be paid right away for any accident I have, but if it's an illness, maybe you have vacation time set aside, your spouse works, you have some savings, whatever it may be. If you think you can go 2 weeks without being paid and not really impacting your life, right? Not having to dig in your savings and so on, that's going to lower the cost of the plan a little bit, okay? But I will always emphasize this as well. If you cannot go 2 weeks without being paid, I would not extend out that elimination period just to save $1 or $2 a week, because when people need to be paid, they need to be paid, right? It's way easier for you to budget a weekly cost of a plan like this than it is all of a sudden you're out of work, no paycheck coming in. And that's, you know, bills are piling up, and maybe now you're hurt and you had some hospital stays. The hospital bills are paying, starting to build up as well. That's where people get into financial trouble. And to me, it's even more important in today's world we live in, because the way our economy is and inflation, everything's costing more. People need this plan more than ever, to be quite honest. Okay. Now, in the end, I'm going to give you some contact information for us, so that you can reach out to our representative that would help enroll you, Ray DeRosa, and he'll be able to get you quotes and for the short term and another plan we'll talk about a little bit later. But any questions on the disability?
Does not appear to be none.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Does
No?
not appear to be any questions, no.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Aflac also has a hospital protection plan. This plan will cover you in the event you're hospitalized. Doesn't matter what it's for, whether it's an accident, illness, delivering a child, whatever it may be. Now, the key to the plan is that you have to be in the hospital for 23 hours or more before the initial payout benefit on this plan would come into play. Now, you can choose anywhere from a $500 to a $2,000 payout benefit in $500 increments, okay? Now, obviously, cost of the plan will vary depending on which payout benefit you want, and that's another cost that Ray can get to you if you're interested in hearing more about this plan, but you choose that initial payout benefit. Hospital short stay, meaning if you're hospitalized but do not spend the 23 hours or more in the hospital, you're not going to get that initial payout benefit, but you will still be paid $100 just for being admitted to a hospital room, okay? And when I say admitted to the hospital, I don't mean just being in the emergency room. You actually have to be admitted to a room, okay? Just to be clear. Up to 2 times a year, we'll pay you $100 for going to the hospital emergency room if you had to go. That's the base plan. Then we have a couple of different riders that you can add on to this plan. And some of the things that are in those riders are things like follow-up visits, just like in that accident plan. So after you leave the hospital and you have follow-up visits, we're going to pay you $25 per visit. We'll pay you for labs and x-rays. We're going to pay you for an ambulance benefit in there as well. There's surgical benefits. There's after that initial payout benefit, you get $100 per day in the hospital. After that, there's a second opinion benefit. So if you needed a surgery, or as an example, but wanted to get a second opinion, we'll pay you $50 just to get that second opinion. So there's a slew of benefits you can add into that plan. The plan is age banded as well, so there's a lot of variables. How you build that plan and your age will come into play on how you're going to be charged on that plan. Now, I will say this: the nice thing about our benefits are that we'll never coordinate benefits with any other benefit you may have. So we're never going to come back to you and say, hey, tell me please what you got paid on or what your health insurance covered. We quite frankly don't care, okay? We're going to pay you based on what the event you're going through and the plan that you have and what those plans specifically pay out, okay? The other thing is we're also not going to coordinate our own benefits, okay? And that's important because you may have a few plans that will help protect you for one incident. And I'll give you an example of someone I have that had our short-term plan, had our accident plan, and our hospital plan. And this is a policyholder that I had that was getting ready for work one morning, fell out of, when she was getting out of her tub, she fell and slipped and broke her hip. She was out of work for a few months. She had surgery and was hospitalized. When it was all said and done, Aflac on all 3 plans paid her well over $16,000. And I don't say this to brag, although I kind of am, right? But the reason why I say it is because she literally came back to me and said, without Aflac, I may have lost my home. I may have not been able to pay my mortgage or some of her other bills, right? And I say it so people can help understand these are not plans that people want to use, because that means something bad happened, but it's going to help protect you while you're out of work or in the hospital, and help protect you and your family in the event something does happen, so that you can still pay those bills and pay your mortgage or rent or whatever it may be. Okay. Any questions on the hospital plan?
I don't see any.
Okay, great. All right, two other plans that we do offer.
Ryan,
Aflac
we're a bit over time, so if you could just.
real quick, I say these last because it's not, I'll be honest, they're not my two favorite plans, but they're good to have. We do offer a dental plan that to help cover some of your, or recoup some of your out-of-pocket expenses if you do not have a group health dental plan. We pay for cleanings and some other things, crowns and so on like that, right? And then we also have a vision plan for those who do wear glasses or have family members that do, to help recover some of those out-of-pocket expenses there. So I'm just going to share, or can I put in?
You should be able to.
I just want to put in the chat. Where's the chat box on this?
Oh, we don't have a chat box. It's disabled. We're a public entity.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm just gonna share then verbally Ray's contact info, or actually, you know what I'll do, Tatiana and Justine, I'm gonna send you a link that'll give a brochure to every one of these plans that we covered, and then also Ray's contact information for people to reach out if they want to have further discussions and or get enrolled in any plans. Does that work?
That's perfect. We can put that right up on our website. So thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate the time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
And last but not least, our last presenter is Sarah McCormick from Delta Dental. Hold on just one moment while I promote her as a panelist. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, I'm just gonna share my, okay, can you guys see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna, it's PDF, but I'm gonna, tick through it PDF style, if you don't mind. I have a hard stop, so I'm gonna whiz through this within the time allotted, if that's okay with you guys, but I'll get to everything, I swear. Okay, and then obviously questions at the end, that's no problem. Okay. Okay, so hi everyone. I know this is the last one, so I'll try and, speed it up as much as I can, but thank you so much for letting me talk to you guys today. So this is a quick overview of the plan. It's remained the same as last year, but just as, a brief reminder, runs on a calendar year. So that's from January 1st to December 31st. And then I put the low plan and the high plan. So there's two options for the plans, of course, side by sides, just so you can see the comparison. So first, with the calendar year maximum, each covered member is allotted $1,000 on the low plan. And if you're on the high plan, you're allotted $1,500 as a calendar year maximum to use within that calendar year on covered services. On both plans, there's a calendar year deductible. So it's $50 per individual, and it's capped out at $150 per family. Important to note that that doesn't apply to type 1 preventative and diagnostic services or ortho, but there's no ortho in this case anyway, so it doesn't matter. So doesn't apply to type 1 services. That's all you have to worry about there. And then for both plans on the low and the high, preventative and diagnostic care, so that's your basic cleanings and exams, x-rays, just with the frequency limitations, those are covered at 100%. So that means no out-of-pocket cost for the member. And then on the low plan, the basic services, or type 2 as we like to refer them. So that's like your fillings, root canals, periodontal work. Those are covered at 60% on the low plan and then 80% on the high plan. And then the major restorative services, or type 3, those are not covered on the low plan, but they are covered at 50% on the high plan, subject to that calendar year maximum. So that's your crowns, bridges, dentures. So if you're going to go in for some of those major restorative services, I'd recommend jumping on the high plan. And then this is just a little reminder about our pre-treatment estimates. We always recommend just like a good DDMA rule of thumb, is that for any services that cost over $300, so that's crowns, wisdom tooth extractions, bridges, dentures, oral surgery, and sometimes if you get a few fillings or something at once, those can all be over $300. So when in doubt, I would always suggest having the provider submit a pre-treatment estimate to us. So that basically means that they submit the claims as if you already had it done. It'll go through our insurance system and you'll see what will be covered by insurance, and then what you would have to pay out of pocket. So that way, when you do get the services done and you get the invoice, there'll be minimal surprises. So when in doubt, always get a pre-treatment estimate. And this is just a reminder of the Right Start for Kids benefit. We added it last year. So it's basically just a better way for your children to make it more affordable for them to get their oral health care, because obviously for children, oral health is very, very, very important. So the way it works is it pays 100% of the cost of covered care when you see in-network providers. That means Delta Dental PPO and Delta Dental Premier Dentist. And this only applies for children ages 12 and under, so up to their 13th birthday. All type 1, type 2, and type 3 services are covered at 100%. There's no deductible. However, the annual calendar year maximum still applies. So, if you're on the low plan, it'll go up to 1,000. If you're on the high plan, it would go up to 1,500. And then dependents on the low plan would receive 100% coverage for type 1 and type 2 services only, just because there's no major restorative coverage on that low plan. So if the dependents are on the high plan, though, they'd get 100% coverage for type 1, type 2, and type 3. Regular exclusions and limitations still apply. So it's still, 2 cleanings per year that are covered at 100%. If you get anything extra like that, or say if you get 3 cleanings within the calendar year, then you would still have to pay, but it's 100% cost is covered on covered care. So that's just, a important thing to remember. And if you still see non-participating providers, they can still technically balance bill you on the variance of what would be covered at 100% versus what the submitted fee of what the provider charges. So when in doubt, especially with the Right Start for Kids benefit, I would always recommend going to an in-network provider, because then it's just covered at 100%, no questions asked. And this is the reminder about the rollover maximum benefit. I think it was mentioned earlier in the presentation. Just to reiterate, it's on the high plan only because it offers type 1 and type 2 and type 3 services. And basically, it's a way that members can roll over some of their unused benefit dollars into future years and beyond. And once you roll over services, unless you terminate the plan, you won't lose them. But if you stay on the plan and you're on it for years, once you roll over those funds, they don't expire. They sit there in a separate rollover max bank. So let me go back a little bit, but this is how it works. So this is, again, on the high plan only. So each covered member has that $1,500 calendar year maximum. And then during that calendar year, each of the members have to get a cleaning or an exam, plus their claims threshold can't exceed $700 within that calendar year. So say if you get, a couple cleanings and an x-ray, that's probably around $300, and you obviously get the cleaning within that calendar year, then your plan will automatically roll 500 of the unused plan maximum dollars into a separate rollover max bank. And it's completely untouched. And also all this rollover administrative stuff, all done on the back end. There's no tracking. There's no administrative burden on the member. It's all done completely automatic. But then once those funds are rolled over into the separate rollover max bank, that bank is capped at $1,250. So say if you have a couple good years where you roll over and then all of a sudden you have a couple of fillings and some wisdom teeth extractions. So the only time that you can dip into that rollover max bank is once you've fully exhausted your calendar year maximum. And it's on a per member basis. But again, this is all done completely within our claim system. It's completely automatic, no burden on the member. And then obviously the next question I always get is, well, how do I check? How do I know if I have rollover max? So it's very easy. You just have to log on to the member portal at deltadentalma.com. You will have to register for the portal if it is your first visit. Once you log in, there's a big benefit maximums tab. And then if you do have any rollover max funds, it'll say it right underneath the calendar year maximum funds that you have left. Or you can always call our customer service line that's on the back of the benefit summary, and it'll be at the end of this presentation as well, if you don't feel like logging online. And then this is just a brief reminder of, the advantages of going in network. We have, it's a three-pronged approach. We have choice, savings for the member with reduced out-of-pocket costs, discounts on covered care before the plan and coinsurance levels even kick in. Providers are held to a certain discount that they can charge the members, so automatically less out-of-pocket for you guys. And then, of course, they can't balance bill you, meaning that they won't extra charge you on the submitted fees. They're only allowed to charge a certain amount for services, as we directly contract with 100% of our providers. And then, of course, simplicity. There's no claim forms or paperwork you have to fill out, access to cost transparency tools with our mobile app and on the member portal. So it's great to see an in-network provider. And then obviously the next question I get is, well, how do I know if my provider's in network? If they don't feel like telling you, they usually know, but in case you want to find one or want to check for yourself, it's very, very easy. Just go to deltadental.com/find-a-dentist, or you could go to deltadentalma.com, and then there's like a huge banner on the right-hand side that says find a dentist. You just select your specialty, or, if you're looking for an orthodontist, a general dentist, a periodontist, or just anything, your plan, you have the most expansive network, the Delta Dental PPO Plus Premier Network, and then you can search by your current location, dentist last name, and it'll show you any results within a 50-mile radius. Very easy to navigate. And then this is just a brief reminder about our Delta Dental mobile app. You can find it on the App Store. There's just one. It's not Delta Dental of Massachusetts. It's just the Delta Dental mobile app. Most of the features that are used on there is the mobile ID card. Instead of bringing a physical ID card, you can just log on to the mobile app and it'll display it right there. You can look up your claims information once you log in through the member portal for the last 18 months. Find a dentist tools on there. Dental care cost estimator, that's the cost transparency tools I was talking about. They basically just give you estimated cost ranges on cleanings, fillings, just for example, within your geographic locations. You can kind of see what providers are charging these days. And then this is just a reminder about our healthy living discounts. We have discounts on electronic toothbrushes at myzsonic.com/DDMA. They're marketed at about $150. We sell them for $59.95 on that hyperlink there, and there's no mail-in rebates you have to do. The discounts automatically come up. There's replacement heads on there, travel size electronic toothbrushes. That's what I usually use. And then this is teledentistry.com. We actually started rolling this in earlier last year, but basically for any members that have urgent dental concerns, they need access to a dentist after hours, you can visit teledentistry.com/DDMA. You fill out a really quick, brief registration and health questionnaire just to, have the provider see what's going on. And then within minutes, you'll be connected to a teledentistry.com dentist. And this will also be covered under your plan as just a regular, oral periodic exam. So if you, had one exam earlier this year and you have one later in the year, because you technically have two, and you want to use it with teledentistry.com, you certainly can. However, these are more for urgent situations, say if you're traveling or something like that, but access to care should never be an issue. So that's why teledentistry.com was in there. And then this is just a snapshot of all the member resources, basically all the ones that I talked about. There's customer service, 1-800-872-0500. Again, that number is on the back of the benefit summary, and it's all over the place on deltadentalma.com. You can't miss it. And then just the welcome packet, 2 physical ID cards per employee are issued within 10 business days of your enrollment. deltadentalma.com is basically the one-stop shop hub. Customer service, as I already mentioned, and then secure access to the plan information through the online member portal and mobile app. That's where you log in to see your benefit maximums, find a dentist, etc. And then this is just a, ending reminder on the importance of preventative care, and that dental disease is nearly 100% preventable. And those 2 cleanings are covered with no out-of-pocket costs at 100% under the dental plan. So we always like to, really push for the preventative care because of obviously all the benefits listed there, boosting overall health and saving your dollars. So very important. And that is all I have. Are there any questions?
I just had a question about the telehealth services that you were talking about.
Yeah, the teledentistry.
The teledentistry, will that be appropriate for like a second opinion?
I mean, yeah, you can for sure. The only issue with the second opinion is that, like, if you want a second opinion, maybe it'd be easier to go in somewhere, but if you can't, and if you're, just wanting a second opinion late at night and you're freaking out or something like that, sure, teledentistry.com would totally be fine. Just as long as you go in for your oral health examination, and then if you want that second one and you want to use it with teledentistry.com, you certainly can. But I would just be aware of the two that are covered within the year. So say if you've gone for an oral health exam earlier in the year, then you go again in the fall, and then you want a second opinion with teledentistry.com, that would technically be 3. So you'd have to pay out of pocket for that third. So, but yeah, it could definitely be used for a second opinion.
Thank you, Sarah.
Of course.
Does anybody else have any questions? We do have another question. Hold on just one moment, Sarah.
Sure.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, yeah, I'm the needy one today. Just a quick question. I'm trying, when you talk about in-network providers, I know there are other, I'm moving to a different state, and I was considering staying on Delta Dental through Needham, but I'm moving to New York. Will Delta Dental network providers in New York still be covered under the Massachusetts Delta Dental, or are they considered out of network?
Yes, the Delta Dental PVO Plus Premier Network is a national network. So, it can go within all states.
Oh,
I think I said with the choice, I think it's like 400,000 unique locations nationwide. So in New York, there are certainly in-network providers that you can find, and you can search it by geographic locations. You can just type in your new zip code in New York and they'll pop right up.
Yeah, I did do that, and I was surprised. Yeah, they popped up, but I just wanted to confirm I was seeing the right thing. Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else?
All righty. Does anyone else have any questions? Doesn't look like it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for that very brief overview. That was great.
Of course. I'm sorry. I know I would have gotten in more detail.
No,
We appreciate that. That was really helpful.
We really do
Okay,
appreciate it.
If there are any follow-up questions, though, please let me know. You have my email address.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Can't believe that we've been together for 2.5 hours.
I know, and people are still hanging in there.
We've having so much fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of information for everyone. It definitely was for me as well. So if you have questions after this, please feel free to email me or give me a call. I can definitely either find the right person to answer your question. I can try to answer it myself. I also just wanted to remind everybody that I do have one-on-one benefit office hours. I'm going to be traveling to different departments throughout the month of open enrollment. So up tomorrow, I will be at the Public Safety Building from 2 to 5. And then next week on Thursday, April 20th, I'll be at PSAP from 2 to 5 as well. So please, schedule an appointment there. If those 2 dates or times don't work for you, reach out to me. I'm always at Town Hall in the HR department. So if you need to stop by or send an email with questions regarding benefits, I'm here. But thank you all for spending the last 3.5, almost, 3.5 hours with us. We really, truly appreciate it. And we're just happy that we're able to get all the benefit information out there to the employees. So
get outside. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, enjoy the nice weather.
Bye.